Welcome to Come Follow Me Meditations. You are about to embark on a journey to a wondrous garden where the Saviour's love blooms in every flower and the whispers of heaven fill the air like a song. Close your eyes, breathe in deeply, letting the air fill your chest like a gentle breeze flowing through a quiet forest. Exhale slowly and imagine a soft, golden light surrounding you, warm, peaceful, and safe. In a land where mountains brushed the sky and rivers shimmered like silver threads, there lay a secret garden hidden beyond a veil of morning mist. This garden was not like others, for its flowers never wilted, and its trees bore fruit that sparkled like jewels. The garden belonged to the kingdom builder, who lovingly tended every leaf and petal. His hands had shaped the land, and his voice had called life into being. One gentle morning, a little girl named Elira wandered into the garden. She had been carrying a heavy heart. Her small shoulders weighed down by sadness she couldn't quite understand. Her feet, bare and soft, pressed into the cool grass as she walked, and with each step she felt her burden lighten, as if the earth itself wished to share her load. Elira paused beneath a towering tree, its branches stretching like arms of an old friend. A voice, as tender as a lullaby, echoed through the leaves. "Welcome, my child," the voice whispered. "You are safe here." Elira looked around but saw no one, yet she felt the presence of someone kind and familiar, as if she had known him forever. "I feel tired," Elira confessed, her voice small. "The world outside is hard sometimes." "I know," the voice said, full of love. "Be patient, dear one. The path is long, but you do not walk it alone. I am with you, even to the end of your days." Elira's heart swelled with warmth, like a lantern lit inside her chest. She continued exploring the garden, noticing how each flower seemed to hum a melody. A gentle golden flower caught her eye, its petals swaying as if it were dancing. As she bent to admire it, a tiny creature appeared, a honeybee, its wings glinting like glass. "Hello," the bee buzzed. "Are you a kingdom builder?" Elira tilted her head. "What's a kingdom builder?" The bee wobbled in the air. "Everyone has a role to play in building the kingdom of God. Even me. I help by carrying pollen from flower to flower so new life can grow." Elira smiled. "I don't know what my role is." The bee landed on her hand, tickling her skin. "The kingdom builder who made this garden gave each of us a gift. You'll find yours if you keep looking." Encouraged, Elira wandered deeper into the garden. The path beneath her feet changed from soft grass to smooth pebbles that massaged her soles with each step. The air grew sweeter, carrying the scent of blooms she had never encountered before, flowers with petals that shimmered with colors she couldn't even name. "How beautiful," she whispered, her fingertips brushing against a blossom that seemed to sing at her touch. The melody intensified, and Elira realized it wasn't just the flowers that were singing, it was everything. The trees, the stones, even the sunlight filtering through the leaves, carried notes of a harmony so perfect it made her heart ache with joy. She came to a clear pond, its surface smooth like polished glass. A turtle rested on a stone, its eyes wise and gentle. "Hello, little traveler," the turtle greeted her. "Why do you look troubled?" Elira sat beside the pond, hugging her knees. "I want to help build God's kingdom, but I'm small and don't know how." The turtle blinked slowly. The kingdom grows through love, humility, and the seeking of spiritual treasures. Even the smallest acts of kindness are like seeds planted in the soil of eternity. Elira dipped her fingers into the water, watching ripples spread outward. "How do I know what treasures to seek?" The turtle smiled. "Lay aside the things of this world and seek what lasts forever. Faith, hope, charity. The kingdom builder delights in the song of a righteous heart, and your life can be a melody that rises to heaven." As the turtle spoke, the ripples in the pond began to shimmer and transform. Elira gasped as images formed on the water's surface, visions of her own life back home. She saw herself sharing her lunch with a hungry classmate, comforting a friend who was crying, helping her mother fold laundry without being asked. "These are your treasures," the turtle said softly, "these moments where love guides your actions." "But they seem so small," Elira whispered. "Nothing done with love is small to the kingdom builder," the turtle replied. "Each act of kindness is a stone in the foundation of his kingdom." The turtle slipped off its rock and swam in a perfect circle, creating new ripples. "Watch," it instructed. The ripples transformed into new images of Elira's small acts of kindness touching others, who then performed their own acts of compassion. The ripples spread outward, multiplying, connecting, forming an intricate web of light across the pond's surface. "This is how the kingdom grows," the turtle explained, "one heart touching another and another until the whole world feels the ripples of his love." Elira sat in wonder, watching the dance of light across the water until the images slowly faded. With a grateful heart, she thanked the turtle and continued her journey through the garden. The path led her to an orchard where trees bore fruit unlike any she had seen before. Some glistened like rubies, others shone with the soft glow of pearls. An elderly woman stood beneath one tree, her hands gentle as she gathered fallen fruit into a basket. "May I help you?" Elira asked, approaching the woman. The woman's face brightened. "What a kind offer! Yes, these fruits are the virtues that grow in the hearts of those who walk with the kingdom builder. Each has its own flavor and purpose." She handed Elira a fruit that glowed with golden light. "This is patience. Take a bite." Elira bit into the fruit, and a soothing sweetness filled her. Memories washed over her, times when waiting had been hard, when she had wanted answers immediately. But now she understood that some flowers take longer to bloom, that the kingdom builder's timing was perfect, even when she couldn't see why. "And this," the woman said, offering a fruit that shimmered with a soft blue light, "is peace." With each bite of the different fruits, love, joy, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, Elira felt something strengthening inside her. Not just understanding, but the courage to live these virtues when she returned to the world beyond the garden. "Can I take these with me?" she asked, looking at the beautiful fruits. The woman's eyes twinkled. "They are already within you, child. The kingdom builder planted the seeds long ago. Your journey here is simply helping them grow." Elira thanked the woman and wandered on, coming to a quiet meadow, where a lamb with wool as white as clouds grazed peacefully. The lamb lifted its head. "Are you building the kingdom?" Elira knelt to stroke its soft fleece. "I want to, but what if I fail?" The lamb pressed its nose against her hand. "The kingdom builder knows you will make mistakes, but he doesn't ask for perfection, only a heart willing to try. Be meek, little one, stay humble, and his strength will carry you." The lamb nudged Elira's hand. "Would you like to see something special?" Curious, Elira nodded, and the lamb led her to a small hillock in the meadow. From this vantage point, she could see parts of the garden she hadn't explored yet: winding paths, hidden glades, bubbling streams, and distant groves. "Look there," the lamb said, nodding toward a section of the garden where the colors seemed dimmer, the plants less vibrant. "What happened there?" Elira asked, her voice hushed. "That part of the garden needs more tending," the lamb explained, "just as there are parts of our hearts that need healing and care. The kingdom builder works there often, with special attention and love." As Elira watched, she saw a figure moving through that section of the garden, tall, radiant, with hands that brought life wherever they touched. Withered plants straightened, colors brightened, and even the air seemed to clear where he passed. "Is that," she whispered, her heart racing. "The kingdom builder himself," the lamb confirmed. "He never stops working in his garden, and he never gives up on any part of it, or any heart that invites him in." Tears welled in Elira's eyes as she watched the kingdom builder restore and renew what had been damaged. It filled her with hope for the broken places in her own heart, the hurts and fears she carried. The lamb nuzzled against her. "He does the same for you, even when you can't see his hands at work." As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting golden light across the garden, Elira and the lamb descended from the hillock. They came to a brook that laughed and bubbled over smooth stones. Sitting on the bank was a boy about Elira's age, fashioning a small boat from leaves and twigs. "Hello," the boy said cheerfully. "Would you like to make a boat?" Elira sat beside him. "I'm not sure I know how." "I'll show you," he offered, his hands skilled and patient as he guided her through folding a large leaf and securing it with thin, flexible stems. As they worked, Elira asked, "What's your name?" "Samuel," the boy replied. "I'm a builder too." "Of boats?" Elira asked, smiling. Samuel laughed. "Of those, yes, but I mean I'm a kingdom builder, like you. Back in my village, I help my family and neighbors. I share what I have. I try to be kind, even when it's difficult." "Is it hard sometimes?" Elira asked, thinking of moments when her own patience had worn thin, or when fear had kept her from showing kindness. Samuel nodded solemnly. "Sometimes. There are days when I fail, when I speak harsh words, or think only of myself." His eyes grew distant for a moment before brightening again. "But the kingdom builder always gives us another chance. His mercy is new every morning." Together they completed their leaf boats and set them sailing down the brook. Elira watched as her little craft navigated the gentle current, sometimes getting caught in eddies before breaking free and continuing its journey. "Life is like that," Samuel said, watching alongside her. "We don't always go in straight lines. Sometimes we get stuck or take wrong turns, but the kingdom builder's love keeps guiding us forward." As evening approached, the garden began to transform. Flowers that had been closed during the day unfurled their petals to catch the last light. Some began to glow with a soft luminescence, as if they had captured stars within their centers. Samuel stood and brushed off his clothes. "I should go home now. Will you be all right?" Elira nodded, though part of her didn't want this day in the garden to end. "I think so. Thank you for your help." With a wave, Samuel headed down a different path, soon disappearing among the trees. Elira continued walking alone, noticing how the garden was preparing for night, not with fear or withdrawal, but with a different kind of beauty. Night-blooming flowers opened their petals. Gentle creatures emerged from daytime hiding places. The stars began to appear overhead, brighter and closer than she had ever seen them. She came to a clearing where a table had been set, a low table surrounded by cushions, laid with a feast that made her mouth water. Fruits and breads, honey and sweet drinks in crystal goblets. A fox with intelligent eyes sat nearby, watching her. "Is this for me?" Elira asked hesitantly. The fox nodded. "The kingdom builder prepares a table before you, even in the presence of your fears and troubles. Sit, eat, be refreshed." Elira sat on one of the cushions and began to eat. Each bite seemed to restore not just her body, but her spirit. As she ate, the fox shared wisdom about the garden and the wider world. "The garden exists everywhere and nowhere," the fox explained. "It is a place, yes, but also a way of being. The kingdom builder's realm isn't bounded by walls or gates, but by love and truth. You can carry it with you wherever you go." "How?" Elira asked, sipping from a goblet filled with something that tasted like liquid sunshine. "By remembering what you've learned here," the fox said. "By practicing the virtues you've tasted. By recognizing that every place can become part of the garden when you bring the kingdom builder's love into it." When Elira had eaten her fill, she thanked the fox and rose to continue her journey. Night had fully fallen now, but she wasn't afraid. The path glowed softly beneath her feet, and lantern-like flowers illuminated the way. She found herself drawn to a small hill crowned with a single massive tree whose branches seemed to cradle the stars themselves. As she climbed, a sense of peace settled over her, deeper than anything she had ever known. At the top, she discovered a small pond that reflected the night sky so perfectly she couldn't tell where heaven ended and earth began. Sitting beside it was an elderly man whose eyes contained the same stars that shimmered overhead. "You've journeyed far today, little one," he said, his voice like the rustling of leaves in a gentle breeze. "Are you the gardener?" Elira asked, somehow knowing this wasn't quite right. The man smiled. "I am the garden keeper. I tend what the kingdom builder creates." "It's beautiful here," Elira said, settling beside him. "I wish I didn't have to leave." "The garden is always here," the garden keeper assured her. "Not just in this place, but wherever you carry its lessons. The kingdom builder has planted seeds in your heart today. Will you tend them when you return?" Elira thought about everything she had experienced: the turtle's wisdom about ripples of kindness, the fruits of virtue from the orchard, the lamb's lesson about healing and restoration, Samuel's friendship and resilience, the fox's insights about carrying the garden within her. "I'll try," she promised, "but I'm afraid I'll forget." The garden keeper reached out and touched her heart gently. Some things, once truly known, can never be forgotten. They become part of who you are. As they sat in companionable silence, watching the stars dance in both sky and pond, Elira felt her eyelids growing heavy. The day's journey had filled her heart, but tired her body. "I think I need to rest," she murmured. The garden keeper nodded. "Lie down here, child. Sleep beneath the tree of life. When you wake, you will be where you need to be." Elira lay down on the soft grass beneath the great tree. As her eyes grew heavy, the garden keeper's voice blended with the one she had heard at the beginning of her journey, the voice from the tree that had welcomed her. "Rest, my child," the voice whispered. "You are a kingdom builder, and every time you choose love, every time you lift another, you help my garden grow. Be patient in afflictions, endure with hope, and trust that I am always with you." The great tree's branches seemed to lower, creating a canopy of leaves and starlight above her. Elira breathed in the sweet scent of flowers, feeling the words settle deep into her soul. She didn't need to know all the answers right away. She only needed to trust, to love, and to keep walking the path with the kingdom builder's light guiding her way. And as she drifted into sleep, the garden seemed to sing, a gentle, eternal song of promise and peace. When Elira awoke, she found herself back in her own bed, the first light of dawn filtering through her curtains. For a moment, she wondered if the garden had been just a dream, but then she noticed something on her nightstand that hadn't been there before. A single petal from a flower she had never seen in the waking world, glimmering with colors that shifted in the morning light. Smiling, she cupped the petal in her palm. The garden was real in ways that mattered most, and its lessons would stay with her, helping her become the kingdom builder she was meant to be. As she dressed for the day, Elira felt different, lighter, braver, more aware of the beauty and potential in the world around her. Today, she would look for opportunities to create ripples of kindness. Today, she would help build the kingdom, one small act at a time. In the days that followed, Elira often thought of her journey through the garden. When her little brother broke her favorite toy, she remembered the fruit of patience she had tasted. When a new student sat alone at lunch, she remembered Samuel's friendship and moved to sit beside them. When her grandmother fell ill, she remembered the dimmer part of the garden and how tenderly the kingdom builder had worked there, and she prayed for healing with a heart full of hope. Sometimes, in quiet moments, when the sun streamed through leaves creating dappled patterns on the ground, or when stars pierced the darkness of night, Elira would close her eyes and feel herself back in the garden, not just remembering it, but somehow there, as if the garden existed alongside the everyday world, separated only by the thinnest of veils. One evening, as her mother tucked her into bed, Elira asked, "Mum, do you believe in a garden where God walks and talks with us?" Her mother smiled, smoothing Elira's hair. The kingdom of heaven is like a garden, yes. A place of beauty and growth and life abundant. I think I've been there, Elira whispered. Her mother kissed her forehead. I believe you have, my love, and I believe we can all walk there in our hearts when we quiet ourselves enough to hear his voice. As sleep began to claim her, Elira thought she heard the distant melody of the garden, flowers singing, waters laughing, leaves rustling in harmony. The song followed her into dreams where once again she wandered paths of wonder, learning more about becoming a kingdom builder with each step. And somewhere, beyond the veil of sleep and waking, beyond the boundaries of seen and unseen, the kingdom builder smiled as another heart joined the chorus of his creation. Let your body relax. Feel the weight of the day melt away as you rest in the knowledge that you are loved beyond measure. You are part of something divine, and your heart is a precious treasure to the one who made you. Sleep peacefully and know that angels watch over you as you dream. Like Elira, you too are learning to be a kingdom builder. Each day offers new opportunities to plant seeds of kindness, to share love, to bring light into dark places. The kingdom builder walks with you even when you cannot see him. His voice guides you even when the world seems noisy and confused. As you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself in the garden. Feel the cool grass beneath you, the gentle breeze against your skin, the warmth of golden light surrounding you. The same love that created stars and mountains and oceans created you, unique, precious, and with a special purpose. Rest now in perfect peace. Dream of wonders yet to come, of mysteries waiting to be discovered, of the beautiful ways your life will help build the kingdom. And know that when morning comes, the kingdom builder will still be with you, guiding your steps and filling your heart with a love that never ends. For the kingdom of heaven is all around us and within us, a garden of endless joy, a home of perfect peace, a realm where the love of Jesus Christ reigns forever. Good night, Kingdom Builder. Sleep well and dream beautiful dreams.